So Town are trying to turn around their current run of home form with hopefully a win against Accrington tonight. Hi, welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. We've got a great home win to talk about. Finally, the Town who do at home comes to an end, and the Mariners successfully beat Accrington last night with 5-2 at Blundell Park. Sent the Town faithful home happy. There's a few things to talk about that game last night. Namely, one thing, the disappointing crowd of 3,874. Quite a few exiles obviously find it difficult in midweek, so midweek crowds are always depressed a little bit, but a little disappointing to see many didn't want to brave the cold. And although, understand in many cases where people have got, the elderly or choose not to go out because they're feeling not under the weather or whatever, totally understand. It just seemed quite a lot of season ticket holder numbers that didn't turn out, potentially somewhere in the region of 12 to 1,400. So we hope that they'll be coming back in droves now that record is that recent record of home defeats is behind us, hopefully. And the ones that did turn up were treated to a hatful of goals and a little bit of a surreal position to be in, particularly looking at the scoreboard at half time. I noted to Steve that there was something strange lurking in the corner, and it turned out it was the scoreboard showing 4-0 at half time. And Town got off to a great start. Had a shot wide, I think, before the goal, which went for a corner from the resultant corner. Ball came across, was nodded on. The Accrington defence missed it, and Rogers was on hand to swivel in the box, central defender like, to score against his former club. His celebration was muted as he was right in front of the Accrington fans, and but I'm sure he enjoyed the goal. And a bit like Town ex-players seem to come back and haunt us. It was nice to see that particular aspect of the game coming back on our side for the evening. Town continued to press, and other chances went to begging, but on 11 minutes, was a great crossfield ball. I think from Hume to Jaden Luca, who composed himself on the edge of the box, stepped inside, and calmly passed the ball into that pretty much from the edge of the box for his first ever goal in competitive football. That was Town 2-0 up on 11 minutes, and the Town faithful were in disbelief at this point, having only scored 2 goals at home in the league since Bromley visited us on September the 12th, which is September the 21st, which is going back quite a while. Not satisfied with being 2-0 up, Town continued to press Accrington really well, and a bit of possession on their left-hand side was pressed, forcing them backwards towards the keeper. But their unfortunate number 11 knocked the ball back into the path of Abikwu, who ran onto the ball and scored pretty comfortably past the unfortunate goalkeeper for Accrington. So 3-0 at sort of 20 minutes. Again, bit of disbelief around the ground. Town fans starting to feel a little bit relaxed for a change, which is unusual. Only for the game to continue swinging in Town's favour. The pontoon end had hardly seen any of the Accrington attack, barring an odd corner, I think it was, in the first half an hour. But in a rare attack forward, the ball came out to the right hand side, was cleared out to Davis, who put in Hume, who put in a great ball to Jason Svandthorsson, who burst into the box, and he looked a different player last night in the nice cold weather, which probably suited his his Icelandic being, and as he made his way into the box, he was tripped by the defender, and it was just inside the box, and Jordan Davis converted the resultant penalty to make it 4-0 in the 33rd minute. So pretty much the game was over at that point. Town pressed and pressed again, and to be true, if it was 5-6-0 at half time, I don't think anybody in the ground would have been surprised. Um, as for the second half, Town came out, looked a little bit muted. Game's already won, so it's probably difficult to keep up the same level of pressing. But there were a few changes in the second half as well, which disrupted them. But Town proved their own undoing, they're quite capable of their own undoing again on 63 minutes when there was a ball in from one of the Accrington wide players. It struck one of the strikers on the heel, spun to the edge of the box, and Henderson turned his man on the edge of the box under very little pressure, and put in a smart shot well beyond the reach of Jordan Wright. Unfortunately, that meant that Town had blotted their clean sheet, but nonetheless, they settled down a little bit. Danny Rose was on for a big at half time because of a groin strain, and they're not wanting to be any more injuries. It's more of a tweak than a strain, said David Artell after the game. So Town continued on pressing forward, and Danny Rose got Town moving forward quite smartly. Just on about 70 minutes, 68 minutes. The ball got put into the box. Rose got onto it again, smashing a great cross, low and hard, with Svandthorsson coming up at the far post. The defender shielded the ball from Svandthorsson, but ran out of room, and eventually put the ball into his own net to make it 5-1. And again, if there was any worry about that odd goal that Accrington had scored, that extra goal on 68 by Al Joffrey managed to allay those fears, I think. But only 10 minutes later, Town had a bit of an aberration with their passing out from the back game. Wright gave the ball to Cass. Cass seemed to control it and then kind of stumble and push the ball halfway back to Wright. It was intercepted by Woods up front for Accrington, who got as far as Wright and then just smashed the ball into the top corner for 5-2. And that was where the scoring finished. But it was nice to see some goals flying in at Blundell Park at last, and 3 points. David Artell, after the game, was pretty happy with the performance, and was less worried about the individual errors that cost the goals, given that they came after we'd been 4-0 up, so the game was pretty much in the bag. Although, as Town fans, you never feel like that for some reason, probably historical reasons. But nonetheless, great to see that win and get that under our belts. So it finished Grimsby 5, Accrington 2.
This is John Sander. You're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
So the Town man of the match last night was Jason Svandthorsson. Had a great game, his first real man of the match performance, thoroughly deserved. And the only thing that he missed was a goal. To be fair, his performance certainly deserved a goal. He was credited with the first goal by the Town announcer, although it was Harvey Rogers that got the goal. But like I say, if he'd have scored last night, nobody would have begrudged him. He was absolutely unplayable at times, and the Accrington defence and midfield didn't really know what to do with him. Moved the ball quickly, had quick feet, and just ran rings around Accrington. So long may that continue. Other news this week from Town: Cam Gardner signed an extension to his contract. So I know he's highly rated by David Artell, and that's probably going to protect Town from losing him for very little money. If he proves to be the find that Town think he is. And I think that plays into the model that Town are trying to build now at the club, where they unearth their gems, get them playing well for the team, and then move them on later on for a tidy profit, but getting the benefit out of them in the meantime. So let's keep an eye on that. It's been a year since David Artell took over. I think it's been a proper roller coaster of a journey for David, having picked up a struggling side from Paul Hurst, had pretty much a disastrous time in terms of personal things. He's losing his father, his time uh, uh, of loss at the club with the Cameron Walsh and his father uh, being killed at the really poor form in the winter time with the 5 and 6-1 defeats at home back to back with Walsall and Doncaster last season, and then the air cleared a bit, and we ended the season in a positive fashion, getting away from the relegation zone, and rebuilding in the closed season. The This season started off sort of half decent, and then I went into a bit of a lull. Then we got the away form going. That coincided with the poor away form we've just seen, and we're now not drawing many games, but we're winning or losing. So we seem to be getting the benefit from a points perspective, and our buoyancy in the league is that we're now following last night's games, at least thanks to Newport scoring a penalty in the last minute. Seventh, which is in the playoff places, which I think any honest town fan would have snapped your hand off in the early stages of the season or David Artell's reign. So I think following on from the discussion I had with John Tonder last week, we trust in David Artell, and we should do everything to back him. There will be bumps along the way, but I think these guys, we've got certainly more quality than in previous times, and I think we need to trust the process. So that's David Artell's year. We'll probably cover that in a little bit more detail when Steve and I are both on the course. This week also saw the release of half season tickets for town fans. Price took a few by surprise, £300. But be interesting to see if many of them get taken up. And bits of the main stand being sold. Chunks of red post from the main stand are being placked up and sold for £125, which was again a bit of a shock on the price point on that. But be interesting to see if town can make any money out of those pieces. So there's a quick roundup of bits of news from around town this week. We also heard in the last week or so that Jason Stockwood has taken up the mantle of being the Labour and cooperative candidate for Lincolnshire Mayor, and has stepped back from the club, leaving Andrew and Polly in charge. I think from the perspective of ownership, it affects nothing, and it potentially depoliticizes the club in the instance of Jason having to run his campaign for mayor, and it remains to be seen what happens with that. But personally, without putting any politics into it, I'm disappointed in one respect, not because of anything negative. It's actually because of a positive. I actually felt that under Jason's steerage and tutelage with Andrew and Polly, that the club was in good hands, and I think it still is. I just feel that there's a little bit of a dilution of his current interest, and because I value that, I'm a bit disappointed he's stepped back for now. But it's probably nothing to be concerned about just yet, and hopefully we'll see him back at the club with his full range of activities being put into the club, and that's probably still there, to be honest, just in the background. So yeah, that's the news from around the place. We'll be following up with another episode at the weekend after the Morecambe game. So we've got some important games coming up now. We've got Morecambe next Saturday on the 7th, and Crewe at home on the 14th. So we'll have a couple of episodes coming up that you'll be able to see. If you like our podcast, please look up the backlog of shows we've got. Some great episodes with some great guests we've had on. So we've had Steve Saunders on. We've had Kieran Maguire from The Price of Football. We've also had Adam Summerton, the BT Sport, TNT Sport commentator, who looks after European football now, but was also the commentator for the famed now 2022 playoff final run, and we all remember that with fondness. That's episode 15. And last week we had our very own Lord John Tonder joined us for a chat about his time and life with the Mariners and the trials and tribulations of that role. All great listens in their own right. So if you get a chance, please please get on and have a look. Don't forget you can watch us on YouTube. You can download us through Podbean, Apple Podcasts, the iHeart Network, or any location you get your podcasts from. And if you can't find us on any particular platform, let us know, and we'll find a way of submitting the pod to that platform. If you enjoy our product, our content, please subscribe. It helps the channel help us find more town fans and more football fans. And if you can leave a review or a comment, that also helps the channel as well. And if you do really enjoy us, please recommend it to your friends and other town fans who you know, and get involved if you want to get in touch with us either by a comment or drop us a message, and we'll be happy to have more people come on and chat to us about the two ins and throw-ins at Grimsby Town. So for another week, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Will be a brief midweek one, but it was a great one to follow up a great 5-2 victory at home this week. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.